Hey, hello, come on in and welcome to today's live stream. I decided to jump on and do an extra one this week and to cover an important topic that I wanted to cover for you. So jump in, say hello. I'd love to see who is here. And I'm always here to answer your questions after we cover today's topic. So I want to dive on in pretty much straight away. I don't want to waste your time. And today's topic is 3 reasons why meditation is essential to your feminine energy. So many of you may already know that I have a very long-term and foundational spiritual practice. And I just came back from almost 3 weeks of meditation. So, I thought I would create a bit of a topic on this on the channel. And if you are new here to She TV, welcome. My name is Candice Oneida. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe over here. And whilst you're at it, whether you have already subscribed or new, click on that little bell icon, because that will notify you of any live streams or new videos I post on the channel. So a warm welcome to you. And if this is the first entree into this work on feminine power and energy, then triple welcome to you, because there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to know, and there's a lot to demystify about what it actually is. Okay? So today's topic is 3 reasons why meditation is essential to your feminine energy, and your power, your experience of power. Okay? So let's dive on in. So let's just see if we've got a few people on already. It's time. Hello. And I need my glasses for this. VR. Hello. Stephanie Cromie. I love your videos. So helpful. Wonderful. So I'm going to keep an eye on who's jumping on the stream. Otherwise, we're going to dive on in today on today's topic. Okay. So the first reason why meditation is essential to your feminine energy is that spirituality, meditation, and out-breath is feminine. These are so fundamental to your experience of the feminine. Now, my work with feminine power and energy is about you becoming powerfully feminine from the inside out, okay? From the inside out. There is nothing more inside than your soul, okay? And so meditation, now just a little caveat here. I have a very strong practice-based spiritual practice, okay? The reason for that is it's practices that you do that cultivate this experience of your energy, your soul, your spirituality. It's a wonderful idea to know that, hey, my higher self's totally enlightened and that's already there. That is a mental concept. It's a lovely concept. But I imagine, like myself, that you would like to be experiencing that in your life, closer to you, in your life, through your energy. And in order for this to happen, you need to do practices. You need to do meditation. You need to do other practices that embody this concept of your soul, your higher self, your higher ego, whatever it is that you call it, okay? There's many names for it. And meditation, I have found, and when I talk about meditation, I am not talking about creative visualization. I'm not talking about goal setting. I'm not talking about sitting down, closing my eyes and thinking about things. I'm not talking about sitting down, closing my eyes and ruminating about this concept of my higher self. There are structured practices that you can do that cultivate an inner experience of your light, your essence, your energy, okay? I have an energetic-based practice, okay? There's lots of different types of meditation. Mine includes one that is a cultivation of our energy, and there's lots of different types of meditation. I'm talking about real spiritual traditions. I'm not talking about someone that decide to use the word meditation as a marketing tool. I'm talking about serious traditions that have serious meditation practices. Okay, so there's Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga. My spiritual school, we do an energetic type of spiritual practice that also cultivates our energy body, which is really important for feminine power, because it's when we engage the energy body, the prana, the chi, it's when we engage that we wake it up, and that can then be cultivated and turned toward this concept of the higher self above our heads. Okay, it gets turned toward your divine light, the divine light, the divine. Okay, so practice, it's a practice-based thing. But let's think about it. So I have a practice where every single morning I meditate for at least an hour. Then I do a yoga asana practice. I sometimes do pranayamic or breathing type of exercises. These are practices. You can't imagine yourself as more spiritual. Well, you can imagine that you can imagine yourself as more spiritual, but I'm sorry, that will get you absolutely nowhere. Okay. But when we do sit down, when we practice, when we meditate, when we take time, space, and out breath in which to do this, we have an opportunity to be. Okay, this is the second main important thing. The feminine is being to the masculine that is a doing. Okay, now remember about my work, if you follow me for a while, I don't say one is better than the other. It's just that if we're always doing, always in action, always in motion forward, always in the penetrating angle of the masculine inside of us, we're not leaving any space for the being aspect, which is the feminine. Letting go, surrender, spaciousness, spread consciousness rather than arrow consciousness, as Arnaud Desjardins calls masculine consciousness, arrow consciousness, feminine consciousness, cup consciousness. Beautiful descriptors as a key way to define the difference between masculine and feminine consciousness, which is inside all of us, okay? But as women, if we've spent our life dominating our consciousness, our awareness, our time toward the masculine, there's no space left for the feminine, okay? So you can't just read about the feminine, you can't just think about it in order to become it. Experience it. We're more experience-based than goal-oriented in feminine consciousness, okay? So I've given you 1 and 2. And look, it's kind of 4. Look, the other one that I wanted to talk about today is that meditation facilitates by sitting down, going into quietude, engaging a meditation process, technique, and practice. It facilitates letting go. It facilitates opening. It facilitates surrender. Now, all of those words are very feminine concepts, right? And important if you want to cultivate the feminine side, your feminine polarity, your feminine self, okay? Okay, now I'm going to do a little check-in with you. I want to see who is here now. Wonderful. Amanda. Beautiful. She says, keywords here, take the time to do it. Absolutely. Red Rose, does sitting and doing, I don't understand the question, Red Rose. You'll have to ask that again. Stephanie says, yes, feminine is a state of mind and being. I need to correct you. It is a state of being with no mind, actually. The mind is more that of masculine consciousness. Shaila, greetings and Happy New Year. Yes, hello. It's time. It's not doing nothing. It's getting in touch with yourself and your emotions. Yeah, the emotional work is a different practice. It's a being without having to think, without having to take action, without having to justify yourself, without having to exert yourself in emotion forward. All of those things would be masculine. Meditation, spiritual practice is about being with your light, with your essence, with your inner self. It's an essential experience of yourself without needing to think, without needing to act, without needing to understand from what's called the ordinary mental consciousness or the ordinary mind. What we seek to do is to get into much deeper states of consciousness, states of being that get ourselves in touch with higher consciousness, deeper, more refined and subtle consciousness. This does not happen when the mind, the ordinary mind, gets engaged. Just to correct you there. Oh, beautiful. It's good to see you engaging. I love the engagement here. Wonderful, ladies. Love it, love it, love it. Good. Okay. So look, I always wanted to give you an entree into that. I have been finding that, there's just like the feminine, there's a lot of misunderstanding about what spiritual work is and takes to really do. And, my particular spiritual work and spiritual practice also has to do with the development of what is called spiritual vision. And as per the rishis of ancient India, rishi means seer, S-E-E-R, seers. And the reason why they were called seers is because when you get into high states of consciousness beyond the ordinary mind, you start to see behind apparent reality. You start to actually see what's really happening in the world. You start to see what's really happening in you. And you allow yourself enough spaciousness to feel what's really there behind the scenes in your own life experience. Okay? We tend to live in an outer crust of ourselves. We tend to engage and communicate, speak, talk from an invulnerable part of ourselves. Okay? And if you want to really do the work on feminine power and energy, you're going to have to get toward at least the desire to experience your vulnerability, to experience something that's more subtle, more soft, more broad. Yep. We live in this crust of ourselves that's very narrow. It sees things in a narrow way. It communicates in a narrow way. And compared to the broadness and the vastness of our consciousness. And you can't imagine this. You can only get into touch with these states of consciousness through practices like a structured meditation. Now, I'm going to put a link below to the best way to start that, okay, in terms of a meditation practice. I'm going to put a link below where you can order a very simple meditation that will get you started if you're new to meditation. It has lectures and theory, so you'll understand what's happening, and practices, okay? I want you to be able to do both lecture and theory and practices. We need some theory and context and background because we need to understand why we're doing something. That's fair enough, okay? But we need to do practices, practice-based spirituality. It's very, very different than just listening to someone or letting someone facilitate a meditation for you. Okay. Good. Now, I also have an announcement for my community, okay? Because I'm always thinking, how can we go deeper here together? Something's going off here at the moment. Sorry about that. Something odd happening. I apologize. Good. Okay, we're back. So I'm always thinking how I can engage you more deeply. And this is actually my birthday week. So happy birthday to me. And the birthday week is actually what's called the solar return in astrology. Okay, what that means is you've got your natal chart, and I think many of you know that I've been an astrologer for over 20 years, and then the sun has traveled all the way around the chart, and it's returned on the sun. So it's a sun-sun conjunction. And so the sun inside is that is very shining and generous and full. And so I like to celebrate that. I would like to celebrate that with you, and to make an offer for my community. So what I have decided to do is on Saturday, January the 19th of this month, okay, I'm going to do a 1-day immersion with my community, okay? 1-day immersion, a 1 full day of practices. We were just talking about practices. That will include meditation. That will include embodiment practices, okay? I did a video about embodiment this week. You should have a look at that. It will include a little bit of journaling. It'll include things such as desire setting, which is a process I've created, which is the feminine way to goal set effectively. But effectively, it actually works, okay? We're going to do what I call pussy power practices. Now, some of these practices I usually reserve to only do with my paid program communities, okay? But you're going to have an opportunity to jump in to an entire day with me from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 19th of January and share in a day of practices with an international community of women. Last count, over 30 countries are represented in my community. That's the paid communities. Here is probably hundreds of countries represented. So I'd love to invite you to join us. I would love to invite you to join us. So many of the Powerfully Feminine sisters will be there, and women are already enrolling in this. Now, I do have a limited number that can attend this, and I will put the link above in the cards, and I'll put a link below how you can join us on that day. Now, it would usually be about $297 to do a day group intensive with me. But as a member of my community, I'm going to subsidize you to join us for just $96, okay? So you're going to have $96, an entire day of practices that you can then continue to use for yourself, okay? You can continue to implement. Because basically here on YouTube, I'm often speaking to you about concepts and ideas and context and what isn't working, but it's not the place for me to do very intimate practices. That's not going to work here. I wouldn't do them, in a public forum like this. So this is where we get to go intimate. You get to ask me questions. Because of the Zoom, we'll do it on Zoom. You're going to get to have little pod formats where you get to actually communicate in small groups with some of the women. We're going to pack a lot into this day. So, what else do I need to tell you here? That's it, I think. So I'm going to put the link. Let me just put the link in the stream here. And I want to see if you have any questions about our topic today, or indeed about Powerfully Feminine Live Virtual Salon, which is what this is called. What are we doing here? Aima says, do you try any Kundalini for meditation, and is it helpful? Well, I have a practice that's very similar to Kundalini, but it's not called that. So incredibly helpful. People often say things to me like, I can't believe that I just turned 52 this week. It's because I engage this energetic practice and have for over 20 years. It does something profound and deep in your energy. Yes, completely endorse it. This is a good question. Red Rose ABD says, is sitting and doing nothing like watching stuff being lazy a feminine thing? Absolutely not. I always say that the feminine is not about sitting down, watching Netflix, eating bonbons. It's a complete betrayal of what feminine is. Feminine is life force. It's energy. It's power. It's a force, an action. It's something that you be. It's something that you experience. Being lazy is not feminine. And if that's what you're seeking, then this is not the right place for you. Okay, Stephanie says, I work in a masculine welding shop where most workers are men. Remaining feminine as a welder is tough since the men don't understand working beside the feminine. That's absolutely true, sweetheart. And also, I imagine being in a welding shop, you're around a lot of metal and iron and fire. And those things in and of themselves are masculine. So you are in a masculine environment. Now, you could have asked a similar question. Many women have asked me the question, well, what if, I work in the corporate world and nobody around me understands the feminine in corporate America? Exactly the same answer. You are in a masculine-based environment. I'm not saying it's impossible to bring the feminine there, but what you would need to learn then is, okay, where and how can I bring my feminine? How can I move from the masculine into the feminine when I leave work? How can I bring what's called soul flexibility into my life, where I can fluidly move between the masculine and the feminine poles inside myself? That's what you're going to need to learn in that kind of environment. Yeah, it's beautiful. I can only imagine welding things. That sounds amazing. Not the misogyny. Look, the thing is, actually the truth is true masculine men absolutely adore the feminine, okay? So I have some corporate women who at first thought the same thing. There's no way I can bring feminine into corporate America. And as I taught them how to do that, I have a very strong memory of a client at the moment. Her experience of her work has totally changed. Her environment has changed. The male leaders or team people around her have completely changed the way they treat her, with a lot more respect and reverence. I'd say even adoration. Like, they give her this very strong sense of herself, and they love her for that. And she's very, very good at what she does. So she's respected for her masculine know-how. She's respected for her feminine know-how. All right. Any more questions, lovelies? Any more questions? Okay, well, I'm just going to put another link here as to how to enroll in this 1-day immersion with me. It's called Powerfully Feminine Live Virtual Salon. You need to enroll to reserve yourself a seat. Okay, and then it also gets you on an email list whereby I will be emailing you how to prepare yourself for the day, and also the link to join us on the day. So I look forward to engaging some of you there soon. Some of you have only engaged like this, okay? And so I look forward to being able to go deep with you and really intimate with you in a way that we can dive into the real stuff together. All right. Any last questions? Stephanie, thank you for your help today. Absolutely my pleasure, sweetheart. That's what I am here for. So once again, sending much love from my heart to yours. And remember, when you have the courage to go out there and shine, you give others permission to do the same. So let's all go out there and shine this week. Bye-bye for now. And I look forward to seeing you in our live immersion day. Bye-bye.